Welcome to the Sorcery Podcast, your sacred space to delve into spiritual tools, topics, and practices that will illuminate your path of soul remembering and healing. I'm your host, Ligia Costa, a soul guide, alchemist, soul writing coach, and the creator of the Trust Pathway. I'm deeply grateful to have you here with me. Together, we will embark on a profound exploration of self-discovery and healing, unlocking the secrets that lie within. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Sorcery Podcast. And for our 10th episode, I am sharing a conversation that I had with Tammy Mack. Me and Tammy, we connected on Facebook a while back through our common interest and love for human design and astrology. And we had this conversation a few months ago where we talked about so many things, how our ability to communicate comes from a channel in our human design, if it's open, if it's not open. We talked about the witch wound and how that affects us today as women. We talked about past lives and how that is related with the witch wound, and that the witch wound is so much more than just the witches that got burned and persecuted, but also affects those that persecuted the witches. It was such a lovely and soulful conversation, and I had to share it here on the podcast. I hope you enjoy it, and let's bring in Tammy Mack.
My name is Tammy Mack, and I'm so excited to be here today. I have to say, I was on Facebook and I was like girl crushing on Ligia's content. I just absolutely loved her writing style and what she was writing about with astrology and connecting to the soul. Now, I want to bring in gate 12. And gate 12 is the gate of the channel. It has a potential of being the channel of transformation, and yet there is a shyness in that channeling. There is a needing to be recognized, to be seen, to be heard, to share in the right circumstances with the right people, the right places, and the right circumstances. And we have a protective mechanism over our larynx that protects us. And so a lot of times we were told to be quiet, to not be seen, to not be heard, to shut that down. And for many of us, we shut down our channel of transformation. We shut down our ability to be able to channel information and energy and wisdom. And so really coming into the wisdom of when it is to share, when it is aligned, when it is truly of your essence, and when it's coming from ego.
Yeah, I love that. And I completely resonate with what you're saying. That is a thing that I see with people in my community as well. And especially with the clients that I have that are more into mediumship, being psychics, being a channel, being a healer. They have the gifts, they have the abilities, they have everything, but then it's communicating that. There is that fear that maybe I shouldn't say these things. People will not get it. And you want to just share your words to heal other people, to reach more people, not in a stage kind of way, meaning showing off, but in the right channels, for the right communities. But there is a lot of remainings of the witch wound still in us, where we felt that it was completely wrong to show our gifts. And you couldn't even say certain words, show that you were a healer, you had some sort of gifts, because that would mean your life will be in danger. So we still carry that in our DNAs. And maybe that's the reason why we shut that gate down.
I love that you bring that up. I was literally mowing my lawn today thinking about the witch wound.
Really?
I honestly, and so I just, you can't make this up. Like, I'm so grateful that you brought this up because I was thinking about the witch wound, and that shyness or that fear of judgment or that fear of persecution when we speak our truth or when we, come out of our woo closet or when we share our healing gifts. And I went through a whole healing of this literally about 6 months ago now, where I wasn't the witch in the witch wound, but I was actually the persecutor. I was the one throwing the stones. Even though I had the magical powers, I was terrified I was going to get found out. So I was the loudest voice in the room as a persecutor because I didn't want to be found out. The witch wound isn't just the witch or those that fear the persecution, but it's also those that have shame around perhaps persecuting others or pointing fingers at one time, and healing that wound as well.
Yeah. And I guess, like, as we navigate this opportunity that it is our lifetime now, and we have that awareness, perhaps that curiosity, and you feel that shame and guilt activating, then you can do what you can to heal that part of the karma. Some people are not awakened in that way, so they carry on with the guilt and the shame, and that's what we sometimes see still happening with slavery and war and all of these things that are still happening. And even sometimes in our communities, our families, where we have someone that is the prosecutor in the family. I mean, like, so it's still very, very alive, to be honest, this wound, for all of us.
It is, like, even in my own family, they are evangelical Christians. And I have been an ordained minister for the Universal Life Church for 8 years now. And so the Universal Life Church is all children under one universe, right? So we welcome all faiths, all religions, all thought beliefs. And so astrology and human design is a part of the Universal Life Church. And unfortunately, my parents can't celebrate me for that. They can't celebrate my love, my faith, because they are so structured and rigid in theirs, right? And so there's the duality. Even though we celebrate and we love the same God, we both love Jesus. If it's not according to certain rules or a certain religion, then it's not real, right? Then it's the devil. And so once again, when you can take that step back and see the wholeness of it, we're both right, we're both wrong, and it's not our place to judge that. And so really taking that step back and having good boundaries, and yet being able to love through those boundaries.
No, it's amazing. Like, you are already breaking that karma, because having the awareness that you were a persecutor in a past life, and now you are one of the leaders of the church for 8 years, you just shifting that wound, that karma there. So at a soul level, and a human level, there is obviously hurt and maybe you feel of rejection, or that feel of maybe I'm disappointing my parents in that way. But at a soul level, you are progressing. So that's beautiful, and kudos to you for doing that.
For me, I do have a defined will center in my human design. And so the idea of being ordained, the idea is sovereignty, where everybody has a right, has the ability to become ordained, to be chosen, to have their own sovereignty. And so that was one of the, I got ordained way before I knew human design, but I was always living my life as a projector, even when I didn't know it.
Isn't that amazing? You were designed to be that way.
In some ways. I'm also Capricorn rising, and so it's very, very ego conditioned as well.
Yeah.
And
very loyal, very structured, disciplined, fun, very fun as well.
Yeah, my son is a double Capricorn, and he came to be my teacher, and so I really get to see the different ways that Capricorns move through the world, and so it's so much fun. As a channel, as a an energetic alignment mentor, my spiritual practice is part of my job. My spiritual practices, I have been like a daily meditator since 2000 and I'd say 18. Huge Joe Dispenza fan. So I can meditate for, and I'm not bragging or anything, but I can meditate up to 2 hours without falling asleep now. But
Wow.
it's definitely a practice, right? It's a practice, and it's always an active meditation. So I love meditation. I also am now in doing Qigong for the last 4 months. I've been in a Qigong certification, and we do movement in our meditation. We hold certain poses in our meditation, and we connect to the cosmos in our meditation, in our movement and stuff like that. So this is another way of bringing dance and meditation, because meditation isn't just sitting on your butt and saying right? There's so many different types of meditation. I go for so I'm a second line. I love spirit walks, so I go to spirit walks and I just walk in nature. And I just did study and initiate in a couple of shamanic trainings over the years, and I just love connecting to nature, to the trees. I'm hugging trees. You better believe I'm down in Happy Valley and hugging trees and talking to the birds, and I love my gardening. But I'm going to say something a little bit maybe revolutionary. Everything that I do is a spiritual practice. Everything that I do is a spiritual practice, because everything that I do, I truly, truly believe, is a spiritual practice, is an offering, is a service, whether it's for me or for someone else, or I'm always walking with spirit. And so everything that I do, whether it is like, sitting down and meditating in a practice, or doing Qigong, or channeling, or serving, even doing dishes, to me, it is a way of connecting. That's when I get my best channeling. That's when the
Isn't that
collective,
weird? Yeah,
when I'm
because you
making
get
beds.
reflected.
Right, because I even remember, years ago, having what I call waking deja vu. And this is where I was like literally sitting on the couch, and I went to grab the phone. And then a year later, I, was doing something, and I felt that deja vu, and I was able to remember when I originally had that vision, right? We don't, as much as we love structure, sometimes it is just a mindset. Sometimes it is just an embrace and an embodiment of who you truly are. So for me, my entire life is a spiritual practice.
I absolutely love that.
And then we can not be so hard on ourselves. Like, oh, I didn't do this, or oh, I didn't do that, and I have to start all over. If you just, bring spirit in with you, everything I do is just a connection, and then it just flows so much easier.
Oh, absolutely. Soul writing for me, it's one of the spiritual practices that I do every single day before I go to bed. I have my journal next to me with a pen, and I just write about the day. And then I write 3 things I'm grateful for, because it's so easy to think that day went wrong. Oh, I didn't do everything that I had on my list, or I did nothing today. Sometimes we have those days that we've been running around doing lots of things, but you feel you've done nothing, right? Or that nothing happened that was special. But then when you actually sit down and you reflect and you bring gratitude and appreciation for how the day went, you kind of start getting grounded on the little things that we take for granted, but they are not. And we are so grateful for it. And when you bring that and you bring the feeling, when you are grateful for something, but you can actually weave it deeply with how it makes you feel, that's when magic happens. That's when appreciation and true gratitude happens. It's just not writing 3 things I'm grateful for. Oh, I'm grateful for this, and that, without even like connecting with the heart chakra, with how it makes you feel. So yeah, soul writing for me every day. And then every week I do art journaling. In the same journal, I just let whatever is happening. Sometimes I do collage, sometimes I do painting, sometimes I do drawing, sometimes I do like a piece of writing. Whatever I feel like is channeling through me, I just do it. It makes me ground, makes me connect with my soul. And sometimes the best ideas or the best releases come through this way. So for me, it's like a non-negotiable. I have to do it every week. So that works for me. Meditation. I love meditation. Don't practice it every day. Sometimes not even every week, to be completely honest. I absolutely love it. But I do struggle with setting consistent schedules, if you can say that, for certain things. Sometimes life gets in the way. I have 3 children, a dog, a budgie, a business. I run my own business from home, and sometimes you have the best intentions, and it's not hard to find the time is the same for all of us, but we just push those things back. So yeah, that's one of the things I want to bring more. Another thing that I want to bring more into my life is to move my body. And I'm not sporty. I absolutely don't enjoy doing sports. When I was in school, I would get like a doctor's letter and not do PE for the whole year. That's how much I didn't enjoy sports. So I do struggle to commit to doing anything like sporty. I just can't. Going to the gym, it's a no. Going for a run, joining a netball club is a no for me. Going swimming, if it's in the sea, I'm up for it, but not like in the swimming pool, no. So I want to bring more movement into my body through the things I actually enjoy, which is dancing. I absolutely love to dance. So yeah, those are like can you say spiritual practice? Dance is a spiritual practice. If we look back at how our ancestors, the wise women used to meet in circles around the fire, they used to dance. The movement, feeling the flow of the body, feeling the wind, the nature, and the connection that you get from it. It's absolutely beautiful. So yes, dance is a spiritual practice, if you listener are wondering. But yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm still working through it. As you said so wisely, spiritual practice is part of our spiritual work, and it should be a priority. And I want to bring more of that. But I also know I'm not the only one that struggles with that. In my community, I see a lot of people struggling with consistency. They start, as I've many times started, and then they give up, or they miss one day or two, and then they feel, oh, I already missed enough days, I have to start over. And then it's just a cycle, isn't it?
It really is. Now your profile lines are so obvious. I would love for you to share your profile lines.
2-4.
So she's a 2-4. And so, in my creative, my feminine archetypal language, the line 1 is the creatrix. The line 2 is the creative muse. The line 3 is the wild woman. The line 4 is the heartist. The line 5 is the queen. And the line 6 is the goddess. So you can see that she loves to create. She loves to create art. She loves to write. She likes to, make art. And she loves to dance, which is very, very line 2, being in nature. I don't like going to the gym. I don't like structure, but throw me in the sea, I'm good to go. And so I just love the alignment with that. What I also find so fascinating is I am a wake up in the morning and create my day. I journal first thing in the morning. you end your day with gratitude. You end your day with journaling. And that's something that I would like to bookend my day with as well, because that's such a beautiful way to seed your subconscious when you're going to bed. Right. So that I work with the quantum alignment system where we use seed dreams. We seed our dreams by writing before we go to bed, putting it under our pillow. So that's such a beautiful process that you're doing for yourself.
Yeah, no, going to the gym is not my thing. I'm not going. But it's as a generator. I'm like, if it doesn't feel like a hell yes, it's a hell no. So if
and
man is a no.
And see, and I'm a projector and I'm a gym rat. I'm a long distance racer. I'm very active in my body, Capricorn rising. So it really flows beautifully between the different energy types. It really flows differently between the personalities, right? Like there is no set structure, right? We are who we are, right? Our energy flows through our personality. And so if you're not a gym rat, there's no shame, there's no blame, right? Like it's just who you are, and you embrace that, right? And so that's beautiful when you're able to do that.
And we get to get inspired as well. Because I have this friend, and it's funny enough that when I started to feel this pull of I want to do more with my spiritual practice, even if it's just creating more, being more creative, doing more painting, doing more crafts with my daughter, but it is spiritual practice, because anything that connects you at a soul level, anything that you do that lights you up, it's a spiritual practice. So but I had this intention of, getting more movement, because as I work from home, my life is very sedentary. I spend a lot of time on my desk. When I had this pull to do that, and then I channeled, okay, I'm going to do a 14-day challenge. But it's funny enough, on the same day, I have a local friend that sent me a message, and she said, are you up to going for walks from next week? And I said, okay. I didn't felt like, no. I felt like, okay, yeah, I'm up for it. Because maybe because it's in nature, maybe because I'm not alone. That's another thing. Like, I like to be alone to do a lot of things. But going to the gym or going for a walk and things like that, alone, unless you're doing it as a spiritual practice, I love that you go for walks to actually, meditate. Unless it's that, when it's exercise, it's more fun if you have that buddy next to you. And I said, oh yeah, let's do it. Let's book a day that every week we know that we have that thing to do and we have no excuse. So yeah, it's like the universe. When you put the intention out there, the universe just sends you these things, these opportunities out of the blue. And yeah, I just felt like I accept the invitation. Yes, let's do it. So I'm excited, actually.
And that's beautiful. That's truly how we create. That's truly how we manifest, right? We hold a vision, we hold an idea. We don't know how it's going to happen. We don't know how it's going to play out. The how isn't up to us. The only job for us is to have that intention, to hold that in our body, to want it enough, and to get out of the way, right? Get our limiting thoughts, our limiting beliefs, get out of the way and truly believe that you're worthy or something that you want. For instance, I create a vision board every single year. In fact, like I have them all over my house. I do them with clients. I've done workshops, and I was invited to share them in an art gallery in my city recently. I was like, I'm not an artist, but apparently I am. On my vision board, one of the visions that I've had was to be invited to be a speaker, right? I really, this is why I've started my podcast. I'm using more speaking to share my message as opposed to social media now. I'm doing a lot of speaking. And so I had this vision of me pulling my carry-on in an airport. I didn't know where I was going, but I knew I was going to a speaking engagement. And I was recently invited to speak at the International Human Design Conference in Denver. And so Thank you. And so really, I didn't know where I was going or what I was going to be invited into. I just knew, I just held that belief, that trust that it was going to happen. So just like you, right? Like you wanted to create consistency in your life. You didn't know how that was going to show up, but an opportunity came in that you responded to correctly that felt okay to you. And you're excited, right? Because it's something that you wanted to have in your life. You wanted a little bit of structure, and having somebody in your life with, to provide that structure and that accountability is going to set you up for success.
I'm curious to know if she is a projector, actually, because
Mm.
that was the thing that I was about to say. Like, there is no right or wrong if you are a gym rat or if you are like me, someone that likes to be more introspective and do things at their own pace. However, we get to lean into other people that have the centers activated that we haven't. So that just complements everything, isn't it?
Yes, that's why we have those hanging gates. That's why we have the openness of the charts, because we are all of the chart, right? We are all of the astrological chart. We're everything. We're all, right? And so we get to experience other aspects of ourselves in relationship. Like, so you're aligned too. There's this beautiful biofeedback that happens, right? We hermit, we like our alone time, then we get called out. We respond. In quantum human design, it's called the responder. So with that second line, yes, we love our alone time, but at the same time, when we're full up of our alone time, we're ready to be called out into, intimate relationships or partnerships or the community, and share our magic, right? So it is such a beautiful dance of that line too. And also the way that we experience life through our relationships with others.
Exactly. Yeah. That's beautiful. I love the way like all of these things just piece together. When I read for my clients, their human design and then the natal chart and then numerology chart, 3 different modalities, and they all say the same thing. It just proves that we were designed this way. We were meant to be. Our soul already chose the gifts, the passions, the challenges even that we are meant to be and to have in this lifetime. And it's so precious. Yeah, I love that.
So beautiful. I never talk about numerology, although in a past life, I think 2013, 14, I was a huge numerology fan. What is your life path numerology? What
Eight.
number are you? You're an
Eight.
8? Well, I'm an 8 as well. So 8 is
Oh,
all
wow.
about mastery, right? It is. It's about mastering systems, about coming into self-mastery. And so that's truly how I feel that I'm
Mhm.
coming into mastery. And mastery doesn't mean perfect. Mastery is that we're constantly learning. And as a line 2 really resonates with the 8, because we're always nerding out. Like I'm always going through rabbit holes. I'm always nerding out on something. I always and as a projector, I love systems. I really want to master systems to make our life easier. And so I love the resonance between, as you said, numerology, astrology, human design, and I use different modalities as well. And we truly are so abundant, right? We're
Mhm.
so abundant in the way that we can serve as soulpreneurs, in the way that we can be pioneers of the conscious economy, the way that we are here to bring evolution into the world.
Yeah, we are perfect.
Yeah.
Sometimes we only see the flaws, but if we could see how our soul made us to be, we have no doubts that we are so abundant and that we already have and know and are everything that we need.
This was such a beautiful conversation. I really enjoyed our conversation, and I hope that we have more in the future. There's such resonance, there's such alignment between the two of us.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
What an amazing conversation was this with Tammy. I absolutely loved having her here to share her wisdom with you. If you'd like to give Tammy a follow or see her work, I will leave all her links and all her information in the show notes on the website www.ligiacosta.co.uk/the Sorcery Podcast. But before we finish this episode, I have a soul inquiry from the Trust Journaling deck, and the card that came up is from the Soul Suite. And the soul inquiry is: what are my true, deep, secret beliefs about myself and what I desire? What are my true, deep, secret beliefs about myself and what I desire? And the affirmation is: I see, know, and honor the good in me. So powerful and so beautiful. Thank you so much for listening to this conversation, and I will see you on the next one. Thank you for listening to the Soulsary podcast and for holding space for this conversation. It is truly magical to be able to walk with you on this journey of soul healing and inner transformation. If you resonated with this episode and found it valuable, I would be grateful if you could leave a review on iTunes. Your feedback helps me reach more souls searching for guidance and healing. For more guidance and soul wisdom to support soul awakening women through the journey of alchemy, please visit my website www.ligiacosta.co.uk. Love and healing to all. See you on the next one.